Am I saying non-alcoholic beer is bad for you? No. But I have a couple tips that you want to look at before you even pick up one of those types of drinks. Be aware, non-alcoholic beers are not all what they seem to be. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is David Brooks, the Cadillac Counselor, coming at you to tell you a little piece of my mind. And today I'm going to talk about non-alcoholic beer. Before I get into that, make sure that you subscribe. You gotta hit the subscribe button now. Yep, go ahead and do it now. I'm gonna walk you through this because so many of my clients, they always say, oh, I'm gonna drink non-alcoholic beer. Be a little skeptical of that because it might be more harmful than you think. For some individuals, drinking an alcoholic beer may be a slippery slope, leading to a gradual shift towards consuming alcohol beverages again. It can break down inhibitions and the resolve to remain abstinent. One beer, you might think, it's nothing. But if you've been in long-term recovery, even short-term recovery, you might think just because you're having a non-alcoholic beverage that you're okay. But it does a little something in the mind. And we'll go into that later on. In social situations where others are consuming alcoholic beverages, even the non-alcoholic version may not be strong enough barrier to resist the temptation to join in. Peer pressure and the desire to fit in might just be enough to tip you over. Weddings, birthday parties, just a little retirement party maybe. You might think, oh, I'll just take a non-alcoholic beer for today. Now we might think peer pressure is not real. Oh, it is. But it's not the same as like when you're in high school. It's a little bit different, but it's kind of the same. Because you don't want to feel like you are being left out. Like somebody's having way more fun than you are. And it might not hit you the first time that you are in the situation. But the more times that you're in the situation and you feel that I could just have a little bit more fun if I would just be in the mix with everybody else. After a while, you're going to look at your non-alcoholic beer. And then you're going to look at their beer and you will realize that, man, if I just had one. But we all know one will lead to, for some people, years of drinking. So just watch out. Consuming a beverage that resembles alcohol might weaken the commitment to sobriety. It can create a mindset that it is acceptable to engage in these behaviors associated with drinking. If you're going to be sober, go ahead and be sober. Non-alcoholic beer is just fooling you. I have had clients that told me that the Coors Edge and the Heineken version are the best non-alcoholic beers. But every single one of those clients that have told me about the non-alcoholic version and how good it tastes, they never have more than about a month sobriety at a time. Why? Because they're just fooling themselves. The last one. Oh, now this one here is the one that I gotta take a little time on. And this is the reason why. We have to talk about the psychological triggers of the non-alcoholic beer. The act of holding and consuming a beer, even if it's non-alcoholic, can create a psychological association with the effects of alcohol. This may even lead to the desire for the buzz or relaxation associated with drinking. The taste, the smell, the ritual of the drinking of a beer, even if it's non-alcoholic, can trigger memories associated with the past drinking experience. This may evoke cravings for the alcoholic beverage. People say, why would this create this big old trigger that might even lead to cravings? Let me explain. Let's say you were going out to eat today and you said, oh, never been to this restaurant. You look at the menu and you say, All right, what do I want? Do I want chicken? Do I want beef? Do I want a sandwich? Do I want it with fries? How do you come up with that solution? Let me tell you. See, most people think that it's in the mind. Like they just say, oh, I decide what I want. That's not true. What happens is you start to look down the menu. You're looking at one thing, Alfredo. Then you're looking at chicken parmesan. You might even look at a hamburger. You might look at many different. You might want fish. You never know. But I'm going to tell you, your body's going to tell you. Not your head. It's going to be your stomach. Because your body's going to start metabolizing. When you start to do the metabolizing of this alcohol, your mind is associated with breaking it down. Anything that you put in your body, it's going to have to break down, whether it's food, whether it's drink. Only water is probably the only thing that it doesn't go through the full cycle of a metabolizing process, but there are additives that are normally in water that sometimes they have to break that down too. So your body's going to create these metabolites and these enzymes, and they're going to work together to break down whatever food it is that you're deciding. So your body is going to lock in on one thing that it's going to want to metabolize. And you know what? It's going to start the metabolizing process. At that point, it sends a message to the mind, and then you start to crave that taste. My mind has already started metabolizing all of those things that I want to put in my system. So when we talk about the psychological triggers for non-alcoholic beer, it's the same thing. As soon as we start to drinking that process, we start creating the same metabolites, the same enzyme that's going to break down regular alcoholic beer. So what are we doing? We are really hurting ourselves. Once we start even thinking about a non-alcoholic beer, it's starting the metabolizing in the same process that it's an alcoholic beer. What are we doing? We're setting ourselves up for failure. All I'm telling you is that you might want to take a bigger look at drinking non-alcoholic beer. If you're watching this video and your spouse, your fiance, your friend, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, you really love them, I would suggest that you don't allow them to drink non-alcoholic beer. Now, if it's you and you're watching this video, I'm not telling you not to drink it. I'm telling you, you might want to stay mindful. Always be mindful of anything that you do when it comes to your sobriety. If you really want to stay sober, you're going to have to work hard. If an individual chooses to drink a non-alcoholic beer, it should be done mindfully. This means being aware of one's motivations, emotions, and potentially impact on the mental well-being. I'm just trying to help you. Just relax. Sobriety does get better. If you want to go to the party, have somebody there that will help you. Always have a plan, a good exit plan. I call it a fire drill. Just like when you were in school, you hear the bell ring. Everybody get up. Everybody slowly walks out the building, and guess what? You find out it's a fire drill. But what if it's a real fire? You know what? There's no panicking. Nobody jumping out the window. Nobody doing silly stuff. You worked on the plan and you got it down pat. So, I would just tell you, get you some help. Get you somebody who will be able to stand there with you, talk you through it. And if you gotta leave, go ahead and hit the road, because it's not worth all of the pain and all of the misery that comes with relapse. And then continue using. It's David Brooks, the Cadillac Counselor, always coming at you. Make sure that you did subscribe. Take it easy. Bye.